Alrighty.
Let's do it.
Doing. I am Jeremy.
I'm Krista.
And we are parentally unprepared.
Every
How goes it?
single day.
Every day reminds us that we are parentally unprepared.
I
That's probably a better thing. When are we going to bring the video back? When do you want to bring video back?
look great right now. Turn the damn thing on.
I don't have it ready.
I'm feeling myself today.
You're feeling yourself today. Interesting.
I wore a fancy maternity dress today.
You've been wearing a good amount of maternity dresses lately.
A good amount. By a good amount, he means 2.
Well, as someone who doesn't normally, I guess, we didn't go anywhere the first pregnancy. So, like,
I gotta go to the office now. I gotta go to baby showers. I gotta go to birthday parties.
you got to show off the bump.
Oh. Yeah, that too.
You got to show off the bump.
Why are you texting people right now? We're
I'm
recording.
pulling up my notes. My notes, ma'am. Thank you.
Like it's 9:30 at night, and you are texting someone while we are recording.
No. I am not that inconsiderate.
Thank you.
How you been? How you feeling?
I'm good.
Where are we at? We're at 26 weeks?
26 weeks today.
Wow.
We start 3rd trimester next week.
Wow. We also got we count our movements right now too.
No, we don't do that for 2 more weeks technically, but I already started because I freaked out yesterday thinking he wasn't moving enough.
Not enough movement?
I was just like, I don't know if I just hadn't paid attention for too long, and it freaked me out because I hadn't thought about the last time he moved. But I definitely immediately laid on the bed in my office, which is, again, a terrible decision. And it took
It's the only decision.
And it took 20 minutes to count kicks.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So now that we're having another child, the guest room is no longer an option in our house, which, sounds like the worst first world problem ever. And the guest bed has made its way to my office.
It's one of those things where you try not to, because we're at an age where we have friends that do have houses, and we have friends that don't have houses, and we have friends that wish they had houses, and so you try to not be like, yeah, we had to give up the guest room for the kid, just be like, yeah, we got a space for him.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. Like, you almost have to, and it's like one of the things you want to teach your kid as they get older is like, you just have to know the audience you're talking to.
Oh man, there's so many things that like I have learned the hardest way. I think there's plenty more for me to learn, as I'm sure if anyone ever does listen to this podcast, they'll hit me up and let me know how just tone deaf I sound all the time. But yeah, like,
What are you being tone deaf about? What do you mean?
I mean, just things you don't think about because you're not, what's
like
the word?
aware, like,
yeah, just being
oblivious,
completely oblivious to the fact
Right.
that not everybody is like thinks like you. I try to be conscious of that, but it's impossible to. I believe it is impossible to be that way 100% of the time because you only know what you know.
Right. And you only know like your experience. I think we discussed that last time. It's like you always want to try to tell people like, at least you're not in this situation. At least, it could be worse, but like it's so hard to not to remember not to minimize someone's experience because that's all they've got. Right.
Oh yeah.
But we were talking about it the other night, sort of along the same lines of how I feel like in some cases I'm over empathetic about things,
Yeah.
So to almost, I don't want to say to a fault, but I worry that I'm over empathetic. Like, not in that, like, am I too nice? But it's just like, I'm really, really fast to put myself in other people's shoes.
Except for your wife, because I'll fess up real quick and be like, no. Most of our fights are about your lack of empathy. So yay. Sorry. you just alley-ooped it there. No, I do feel like you try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Like,
I try to. Some people make it hard.
They make it really damn hard.
Some people make it hard, but then like something changes and you're like, well, maybe they're not so bad. Like it's
Well, okay, we're watching Disney movies now. More and more Disney movies. We're gonna
Oh yeah.
yeah, we are.
Oh man.
We might venture to the land of mouse one day, and we're trying to give our kid some context. And I think we've talked about Beauty and the Beast like when we had her smaller.
Yeah, it's come up a few times and how problematic it can be.
So it's even more problematic than I remembered.
Yeah.
And we showed it to our not even 3-year-old over the last 2 days.
It's got some issues.
It's got so many effing issues, y'all. And she's sitting there like glued to it. And, we showed her Sleeping Beauty. Got its own issues, but still, overall, I say it passes the Bechdel test. So there's that. But
no, yeah, Beauty and the Beast. We were watching it, but we kept looking at each other like,
holy cow!
Oh, it's one of those like you've brought up. What's it called? Stockholm syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
But it also reeks of teaching young girls that even if this person is emotionally abusive,
unstable as hell,
mentally abusive,
immature,
super,
aggressive.
rage issues, like you might be able to fix him and everything might be okay.
If he loves you enough, he'll change.
And he might be the prince you're looking for.
If you're special enough, he'll change for you. Yeah, gotta love it.
And he might not tell you some vital pieces of his past as to why he's had dancing and talking appliances around.
I do appreciate that our daughter, the first thing she excitedly told your mom was the Beast was rude. He was rude to Belle. And I was like, that's right, baby girl. He sure the hell was. And your mom pipes up and she goes, you know what though? He changes. And I was like, no. No. And I was like, that's not what we want her to learn. We want to keep her away from inmates.
Right.
We don't want her writing prisoners' letters and falling in love and
not
marrying.
Everyone can be rehabilitated, Mom.
No. And I do think that writing letters to prisoners is a great activity if that's your thing. But
is it?
Honestly, there's a lot of people that are there that probably shouldn't be. Think about all the people in jail for the rest of their lives for pot possession.
I'm joking.
We can get political, can't we? Can't we?
We have to. It's
No.
exhausting because we're right. It's so exhausting being right about things, so I don't want to do it.
But dude, Gaston was way worse than I remembered him. Like just so aggressively.
I was calling him. Yeah.
And Belle's just so accommodating. Like she's so like everything you're taught as a girl before now. Like obviously we're in a whole new world. But what I grew up learning was you have to be polite even to pushy, arrogant douchebags. And there is a good reason to still teach that, because if you turn down pushy, arrogant douchebags, they may murder you. Yeah. So there is that factor. And it's just, it's almost a defense mechanism.
Guy's got a hell of a voice, though.
He does have a hell of a voice. I've been singing that song all damn day.
Yeah, he kills it.
The music in that movie is terrible as that movie. I mean, it's just an objectively terrible movie.
The music's undeniable.
The music is undeniable. It's like
undeniably good.
Oh my God, it's so
earworms.
And everybody sings amazingly. Even Angela Bassett. Not Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett.
Angela Lansbury. Stella did get her groove back, damn it. But yeah, it's God.
Yeah, I was thinking about it today, and I was like, what if like the updated version would be Gaston's a frat guy, right?
No.
Frat Stone?
No, I think he'd be I think like the most updated version he'd be an incel. But like a Joe Rogan-y listening incel.
Think so?
Yeah, like somebody that like is a gym rat but thinks women like an alpha male.
I was just thinking popular around town, like so I was thinking automatically I thought frat boy jock type.
Alpha male.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, no. Because, I mean, half the frat boys I know are, like, kind of gentlemanly, like, in a good way.
Sure.
So, I think there's too many good ones nowadays because that whole terrible, what do you call it, like, man, pregnancy brain is failing me.
History.
No, history works, but like just the typography, not the word I'm looking for.
Stereotype?
Yes, thank you. Stereotype.
Oh, you mean like all the problems that anything before 2000 Disney?
Yeah. No, I mean like the frat boy stereotype
I
for
know,
like
I was just joking about stereotypes.
30 years of that, I think, kind of finally started to turn at least one or two of those ships around. At least I like to think that because my brother's in a frat, and I'm sure my other brother's going to join one too.
If I could sound not so nerdy right now, I was looking at my library queue today, and I noticed I did put, and I haven't gotten it yet, but I did put a book that you recommended that was about the history of frats.
Oh,
was it you that recommended that to me?
I don't know. I don't remember recommending that.
It was, I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but yeah, it's a very interesting cover. It's like an old Civil War era dude, like white dude, and they've just like photoshopped like a pink polo over him with a popped collar. It looks incredible. I want to say you probably heard it on one of your like crime podcasts.
Maybe
they were talking about a frat guy.
Maybe.
Let's see this one right here, Among the Bros by Max Marshall.
I don't know anything about that. Maybe I saw it on Pinterest.
It's a fraternity crime story. It's a true crime story about a frat.
Not ringing any bells, but I'll take credit if I get it. Hey.
A brilliant young investigative journalist traces a murder of a multi-million-dollar drug ring, leading to an unprecedented look at elite American fraternity life. Max Marshall in College of Charleston in 2018.
You actually got me finally interested in a nonfiction or in a fiction book.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I've been like on a nonfiction kick, and I can't get tied into any fiction stories lately. I'm interested in nonfiction stories, but the problem with nonfiction is it also is so dense it can become boring.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to pick it back up.
Stupid facts.
Yeah.
Getting in the way.
Stupid
details
class that I assigned myself.
What is this? I graduated.
I've been trying to read the history of the Secret Service for about a year now. And
that's been right out of a year.
Almost. And it's really good too, and I still like just can't. There's so many other things to do. Like that's my problem is I do love to read and I do want to read, but fiction hasn't been grabbing me lately. Nonfiction is just very dense, and sometimes I'm like, I have a lot of editing to do, like I have a lot of cleaning to do, I have food prep to do, I'm tired because I'm pregnant, like just everything takes precedent over reading. And on the off chance none of those other things apply, I'm like, you know what, I should probably take care of myself today and take a shower and do my hair and I don't know, clip my toenails or something
right,
while
right.
I can reach them.
Keep yourself together, right? Yeah. What do you think that is? Like, why do you think
there's not 36 hours in a day?
No. Why do you think that you have gone from, I mean, I don't know if you ever did prefer fiction. You've always seemed like more of a nonfiction person to me anyway.
Oh, really?
You do read some, I know you read fiction. I've watched you do it, but I mean, I feel like even before now, like you never really got grabbed by books all that much anyway.
No, man, I love books. Like I'm one of those people that gets,
or fiction books. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm one of those people that gets really depressed when I finish a fiction series I love. Like I got depressed after Harry Potter. I got depressed after Game of Thrones wrapped where it did. Like
depressed because it's over. Or yeah, okay.
Like I got depressed after The Hobbit. Like, and I mean, don't get me. Those are all real mainstream titles, but I mean, like
just stuff you didn't want to end.
Yeah, like they're mainstream for a reason, in my opinion. Like they're very, very, like appealable. Again, words are failing me.
Appealing.
Appealing.
Appealable.
Broadly appealing is what I was kind of going for.
All right. So the name of this episode is Broadly Appealable. Easily. That's an easy one. Oh my gosh. I appreciate you doing that for me.
I hate that I'm the butt of the joke here.
I will say though that the book I'm pushing on you is the first time in a while, at least maybe the second time this in the past year, where I've been like getting to the end of the book and I'm like my anxiety is rising because I'm like, there's no way they're going to get to all the things I want to know about before this book ends. And I know this isn't a series, so there's not more coming.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just, you're enjoying it so much and it's written so well that you're mad that it's ending, because you're like, well, then now I got to find another set of words that fits how I'm feeling.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good. And yeah, I do want to pick that one up. The other one I put a bunch of audiobooks down because I am good about listening to podcasts, but mostly because I'm a multitasking jerk face. I just don't do
audiobooks.
Well, I don't do. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is I put a bunch of audiobooks on my list. You're too busy typing to listen.
I was too busy putting down the joke you made accidentally.
It's not a joke if it's.
I'm giving you credit. I'm giving you credit for that awesome joke. Misspeak.
A joke about myself. Great. No, but the one you read last year that had the Japanese wave kind of title.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah, they've got that in audiobooks. So I figured I'd try that. Got a couple others by the authors, and I like the authors. I put like 12 audiobooks on my list. So I was like,
is it limited for us? It's on Spotify, right?
Yeah, I mean it's Spotify Premium, so I think you get a few
10 hours or something like that.
10 or 12 hours a week or a month. So some of the books aren't even that long though. So I'm like, okay, well if I read one book a month, that's 12 times as many books as I read last year. Like,
well, the cool thing too is. You can also, and I haven't done this, but you can also download audiobooks from the library app too.
Which I need to do. I've got the library app, but I'm sitting here and I've like got all these plans and I'm like, oh wait, I'm about to bring a human in the world again, and I have to take care of the one I already got here. So,
well, at some point you're going to become less mobile and you'll be less able to just move around and do stuff. So,
well, and I'm thinking about that too because we really haven't done a whole lot like we did the first time around to like nest and prep, and I'm looking around and I'm feeling slight guilt about that, but I also can't think of what else I'm supposed to be doing that doesn't require like major repair work on the home. Like,
yeah, I mean, I was looking at the baby room today, and I was thinking
it needs some cleanup for sure.
It needs some cleanup. It just needs a little bit, a couple things come out that are that belong to the girl, and we're leaving it mostly the same because we had someone hit us up today. It was like, "What's the colors in your nursery?" I was like, "I didn't
nursery
know
colors."
I didn't know you had the capacity to like wonder about this. But
I'm sure that a double X chromosome put him up to that.
But I was, I was looking around. I was like, "Yeah, there's just some little stuff we got to just tidy up in here because it's kind of just become like the abandoned, like it's like a ghost room right now."
No, it's not a ghost room.
I think it just feels that way because we pulled a giant piece of furniture out of there and there's a lot of white wall in a corner.
And I got a solution for that. But I think the only reason it feels like a ghost room is because like we spent 3 years straight in there pretty much. Like,
yeah, it feels very cold right now as it always felt cozy for like 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll get cozy again. Like, I think I need a rug. I do need a rug. That will help. And I think that, putting the piece of art that we have in there on the wall will help. I mean, it is just lighting and like the things you do in there. We're not doing anything in there right now.
I got to change out the ceiling fan.
Just change out the ceiling.
But I think part of it is too, I think it feels like a ghost town or a ghost room just because I go in there and like you said, we spend a lot of time in there and like nothing happens in there right now. Mm-hmm. And like, just kind of like
our daughter will go in there and go, "I'm going to my old room."
Yeah. And I don't know, you step in there and you're just kind of like, I don't want to say it's depressing.
It's a little.
But it kind of gut punches you a little bit. Like you're just kind of like, oh.
She's in her big girl room now.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you think
our
about these things.
Our baby moved out of this room.
And I like, along with what we were talking about with being over empathetic, you and I are very, very mournful of looking back on different stages, right? Like you'll just randomly send me like 2 pictures from a year and a half ago.
Oh, that's 6 months. Fault.
And I'm just like, why are you doing this?
That's my phone's fault.
Why is Apple stringing together like 4 or 5 images with some like weird acoustic guitar music and making me feel right now. I'm working.
What's worse is I got you this week with like 4 videos. Like, oh, I spent so much time going through our old videos with her that I should have spent working. I can't even tell you. I found just some good ones too. Just her talking and signing and playing, and she could just barely walk.
Yeah. She was eat. She was doing all this stuff, and it was just like one of those moments where it was just like, I will be back in a moment, and just had to leave the office. I was like, I'm gonna go walk around. Not that I was like weeping or anything, but I just, sometimes I just got to get up and walk some of that stuff off just to be like, woo. Here we are now. And I think that room does that right now. And I think it'll change when he's here, but it's just really weird to go in there now and have it be so quiet and so not lived in. Like none of her like stuff that she actively uses is in there anymore.
It's all like just memories.
It's all of it. It's all like, stuff she doesn't touch anymore.
All the toys that are in the baskets in there are just associated with small child memories. Like, and she's not a small child.
She's not interested in any of it.
Preteen. Okay.
Lights blinking.
Okay. Yeah, your light don't like us at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But you were talking about you were talking about nesting and things that you feel like we should be getting.
Well, I feel like I'm so busy like taking in the last moments with just her too. Like that's taking up a lot of time. I've probably spent nesting last time, and it's weird because I mean we hold full conversations with her. It's like, I know adults I can't talk to as easily as I can talk to our 2-year-old. Like,
she's
that
curious.
might be a commentary on me, but
she's curious about everything, even the books she's read like 10 times over or more.
Dude, she puts so much together. I just never would have thought she could like grasp either too. She's just so. I mean, and I know every parent thinks their kid is smart. It's just like, I didn't think I'd be one of those parents that was so easily susceptible to that. And she is smart. Like, I mean, objectively, like other people have told us that too. I know that. But it's just, she's amazing. Like, and
I think,
man, like to have, I was thinking too, I'm like, what if we get 2 of these? Like,
well, I think it's not even, because I've put a lot of thought into everybody thinks their kid's a smart kid. And I think it's just like, it's true. Like, it's true in your eyes, because again, it's your experience, but you're also seeing the full arc from point A to point B, right? Yeah. From where we were to where we are. And you don't get to see that with other people's kids.
That's true.
You know, so it's very easy to kind of poo-poo, anybody who's like, oh, my kid's smart. And it's like, oh, sure, your kid's smart. It's like, of course. And I know people I've seen the look. I know people do that.
I think that there's a lot of just like sheer amazement too at what a kid is capable of.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think, by the time you have kids, you're so far from your childhood, you're like selling kids short by that point because you don't remember what it was like.
Well, and considering our parents' generation, we're like double
we're even
distance, double the distance, and we're purposefully, not that parents, there are the parents that didn't, but we're doing all we can to maximize that time. Whereas I feel like, not everybody has that luxury. Even.
Yeah.
Like,
some people
could be a single parent.
Yeah.
Could be, just 2 parents that are really busy in lives that they established already, and they got to keep it going. We're just very lucky to have the time we've got.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I literally spend all my time when she's awake. I'm just like, well, I'm gonna be around. Like, I mean, there are things that come up for you.
Yeah.
But
every once in a while, I gotta do my hair right.
Every once in a while, you gotta do your hair. Every once in a while, I mean, a lot of people don't like to say it, but like, you do need to go and like hang out with your friends and just have that time for yourself. I'm like,
God, you went and got a beer with a friend the other day, and she was missing you, and she was just like, where'd he go? And I was like, he went to see his friend, Mr. So-and-so. She was like, but he didn't ask us to go. And I said, they went on a boys like evening. Like they just went to go like hang out with just the boys tonight. And me and you were hanging out just the girls. And me and you go do something with just the girls at a different time. She's like, but I want the boys and the girls to hang out together. I was like, oh, I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, that's the cutest damn thing I've ever heard. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it was precious.
It's cool. I'm liking that. And then you mentioned the other day, you're like, it was about the time you sent me those pictures, and you're like, I just remember when she thought we hung the moon, like regardless of what we did, and she still thinks the world of us, but it's not. She's also got the way she feels about things too, yeah. And so it's not all like, okay, go with the flow. It's there. She's got her own flow too.
Yeah, she has requests now.
Yeah. So you're feeling okay right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I'm really tired still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seem. I don't remember if you're more. I can't tell if you're more tired than you were before, or if
I think I don't have the ability to rest like I did.
Yeah, you're chasing a kid now.
Yeah, exactly. Like before, I went to bed at like 6 o'clock some nights. Before, that's not even possible because she's not in bed by 6.
Yep, but I mean, you've also had those nights where you've been like, all right, well, I'm gonna go crash out
at 7:30, and she was going through a sleep regression, so she was still screaming and waking us up at 3 and 4 and 5 o'clock. But another thing too that I don't think was as bad with her is I'm having to pee in the middle of the night a lot.
Yeah,
like I don't think I've had a solid night's sleep since like week 10.
Yeah, you've been fighting it.
Yeah,
a good bit.
Like it's so. I miss that. I miss like just sleeping straight through the night. But I mean, I feel like I'm more tired, but I feel like there's contributing factors. Not to mention I'm 3 years older. So
yeah, things change for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what
he's starting to kick around a good bit though. Like he's been doing some flippy floppies some days, and right now he's putting a lot of pressure on me. So excuse me. I almost feel like I'm having like some slight like Braxton Hicksy type contractions too. I went to a baby shower for a friend of mine that's due in a couple of weeks, and like 3 weeks, and she said she's been having Braxton Hicks contractions since like the beginning, like the whole pregnancy. And I had one at 13 weeks this time, and I didn't have a single one that I realized.
Yeah, the one time we got you in the bathtub.
I was about to finish that statement.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Until the week before she was born.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, that's a weird feeling because I'm like, whoo, what's that? I didn't get that much that first time.
So completely different this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there it's still been, good. But there's been big differences, yeah, for sure. Like he's situated completely different. Like our daughter, I think I talked about, she kicked like straight through the bottom of me the whole time, and she felt
like she was trying to kick the door open.
Yeah, absolutely. and he's trying to get out my belly button mostly, so it's weird. And then my acne kicked up. The sleeping's been different. Nausea was a lot worse in the beginning on this one, and I don't know. I know there's some other stuff that's been different. Heartburn was worse. Sweet tooth's been worse.
Yeah, I feel like we've been having a good old time with the food. We were talking about that earlier today.
Yeah.
As we both sat there on the phone. We're both on our lunch break at work.
Eating
stuffing
fast
our
food.
faces with fast food.
We both independently were just like, screw it today.
Talking through the food we're chewing. Oh, yeah, man.
And then you started doing a happy dance when I mentioned that our pizza tradition for Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah. I need to reel it in.
Maybe we need to do a thin crust this year.
We could, but the other one's so good.
The other one is so good.
Nice deep dish Chicago.
Maybe I shouldn't have started us off with monkey bread at the New Year.
Man, it was a good holiday for sure. For sure. I'm trying to think of some of the other things we had mentioned we wanted to talk about.
I sent you something. I was like, let's talk about this. I can't remember what it was though.
I got some shorthand stuff. I always type shorthand notes like, oh, I'll definitely know what this is. And it never fails.
I never remember my shorthand.
All right, I do know what this means. And I don't know where my head was at when I was thinking about this, but if you knew you could have the same exact kids, right? You have the same exact kids you're going to have now, but you could have them back in time, like in any other decade, would you?
Do I get the same husband?
Sure, same setup, but would you do it in a different?
Like, oh wait, we're like time travel time, or like in my 20s? Are we talking?
Let me think about that, because there's two ways you could look at that. Would you have them when you're 20? No, I wouldn't.
No.
But would you have them in another decade,
like in the 70s,
80s, 90s?
I have a daughter, so no.
Oh yeah.
There's
that.
There's all kinds of civil rights that we've gained and lost since then.
I would think like 90s. Oh my
Pardon. Sorry.
I would think 90s wouldn't be terrible.
The 90s wouldn't be bad. Like, but I mean, there's still like, what would benefit her would be wonderful, you know, like not having to live through your childhood on the internet. But it would be much harder for me to be a mom. Like, people were way harder on moms in the 90s than, like, they're very supportive of moms and single moms and mom culture and things like that. Like,
there's more
not
breastfeeding.
There's a lot less judgment. Like, I know my mom had it really hard being a mom in the 90s, especially a single mom in the 90s.
It's easy to, well, yeah, because you're still shaking off, like at that point, you're still shaking off that stigma of, oh, single mom, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do?
I think even married moms got it though, like working moms even got it. That would be a big problem for me, because like, I think part of the reason we're able to parent the way we are is the career we both have. And I mean like the career we both have, like, gives us that free time, gives us that ability. And
the hours it gives us.
Yeah,
right?
The working environment that I work in right now didn't exist for women in the 90s. So I wouldn't have that.
Didn't exist for many people at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so the hours I have, the pay scale that I have, like, none of that would have been available to me, and we wouldn't. I don't know. Inflation's kind of a bitch though, so maybe it would be fine.
All right, fine. Anything. All right, anything pre-90s, if you had to take one of those decades.
Whoa, if I had to take a decade pre-90s, Jesus
Christ. Superstar. We watched a movie the other day that had that song in it.
I had to take a decade pre-90s. Hell, the 80s. I'm not going any further back.
I don't want to go further back.
I don't want to.
You don't think the 50s would be fun?
Hell no, man. You could smack me around, nobody give a damn.
Roaring 40s, come on.
No. Actually, I weren't raised right would be the first thing anybody'd say if we were in the 50s.
That's true.
Like, I think Lucy and Ricky are the only ones that allowed me and you to exist.
That's only because Ricky looked white in the black and white TV.
You look pretty white sometimes, so who knows? Well,
all right,
okay.
You're done.
Yeah, take this away from me. I don't want to put a circle on your table, but
it'll
it's
be
over.
Fine. I'll take the circle over that. All right.
What about you?
I would like the 80s or 90s. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be good, because I think
anybody who asked that question is going to be the decade that they were 5 to 15 years old.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That makes sense. Just because you know it as a kid so well, I guess.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I know how I could be a cool person. But throw another wrench in there. You don't get to know anything about the decade, though. Nothing. All right. I don't know what this means. I don't know why I typed it. The simplicity gained from the knowledge of the first kid.
Oh, I think it was, I was saying that I'm not freaking out as bad.
Okay.
Yes. But I started freaking out this week. I knew it was coming.
What were you freaking out about?
Kick counts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, you and me both were about ready to call a doctor and be like, do we need to come in? Like,
yeah. But I mean, I think you would have called the doctor today.
Oh God, yeah.
If it was the first kid.
Absolutely.
Like,
I would have called yesterday.
There's just little things that have been trimmed off here and there. Like, you're kind of like, okay, I've been through this once.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be, and I think that's what leads to second kid syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Where like, you're kind of, oh, they'll be fine.
I was worrying about him today because I was like, are we going to be so busy worried about her that we don't worry about him enough? Like, that's the one thing I don't want to do. And at the same time, I don't like, how do you split your time equally? I think that's like the thing anybody worries about when they have that second kid is like, how do you do this fairly? Because you're going to feel guilt that you're taking attention away from your first immediately. And you're going to feel guilt that you can't pay your second as much attention as you did your first because you got another kid to take care of. Like, it's inevitable.
I think though, I mean, even from talking to the midwife, like I think a lot of that's anticipatory more than it is like, I don't think when he arrives, I think it just starts working the way it's going to work. And I don't think you're going to think about it like that. Right now, it's an unknown. So you're going to be like, I don't want to mess it up. Like, I don't want to mess up the balance, you know? And yeah, it'll be different, you know, but it's not, I don't think it's going to be as stark as like we think it is. Cause I worry about the same thing. I was like, I can't, you know, what do I do? Set a timer. All right, let's play.
Yeah.
Go to the other one. Let's play.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like you can't do it like that. You know, you just have to let it be natural. Otherwise, your kid starts picturing you as a psycho.
Yeah.
Putting, you know, keeping money in the walls.
Our kid's not going to have any trouble picturing me that way.
Daddy keeps money in the walls.
God, it's just, there's so much to think about. I don't know. And I'm going to overthink it all. I know I will. Like, it's going to be natural. It's going to happen. It's fine. But I don't know. Like,
I don't think I fear quite the same thing you're fearing, where it's like, how do I spend the time with each kid and how do I make it to where, you know, this and that. I think I worry about busting my ass to do all that, and then it makes everything blur by because it's so many things that it's just and I'm not like taking the time to sit back and marinate in it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's more of a cool, this is great, I hope you're doing all right, blah 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 blah, and then you're just immediately on to the next thing with the other kid.
Well, and like, you know, having kids of two different genders is going to be harder to like find common ground, I think, sometimes. Maybe not. Who knows? He might love princess movies. I don't know. But like, I think I sometimes, you know, try to ex-nay the TV a bit because we watched a good bit of it, like just without even planning it. So we try to plan some TV-less days and things like that. But the last couple days has been nice to, you know, like over the last week or so, you know, with a no TV day here and there, to introduce her to some princess movies, because we're just sitting down, taking it in, just watching her for reactions, you know, not having to plan 6 different art activities, make sure nothing gets like permanently dirty or like, you know, paint gets on the walls or anything like that. Not a cleanup action has to happen. You just introduce her to something you liked as a kid, show her The Lion King, explain why Scar is weird or tricky or whatever was said. And then
uncomfortably explain why Mufasa's not getting up.
Yeah, that one was
about
tough.
10 times.
That's tough. She loves The Lion King. She wants to be Simba when she grows up.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work. But anyway, it's just, I feel like the time is not blurring by so fast right now. And I feel like I did a little bit of what you're talking about being afraid of when she was little, because I wanted her to get all the sensory bends, and I wanted her to touch and feel and see all the, you know, high contrast books and read her everything and an activity every day, so she was engaged and not bored. And I mean, I feel like it flew by, and I don't know if it flew by any faster than it would have no matter what. Like, it's hard to gauge that. So
I always wondered if, like, because I didn't have to deal with this side of it, like when you were like stressed out about pumping and
I didn't appreciate anything that was going on
and
there.
stuff like that, where it was just kind of like I would try to keep everything to the same room if we were all here. But I mean, even just the stress of it makes you not, it pulls you out of the moment of it all, right?
Yeah. I mean,
even if we're doing like the most meaningful thing while you're sitting there, you're still just like,
I know I've gone back at some videos I took like watching y'all play, and you can just hear the pump in the background. And I'm like, usually when you're the person taking the video, you're not actively participating in the thing going on as much. But that made it feel even more distant. Like I could put myself back in that position of like feeling chained to the wall by that damn power cord. Like
I got wireless ones this time.
I got wireless ones already, and I swear if it gives me trouble, I'm abandoning shit. Like,
don't need it.
I'm gonna nurse that kid when I can nurse, and then done. The second it becomes more stressful, and it's like the enjoyment I get from spending time with him, I'm out.
Well, like max benefit, like, I mean, obviously there's a lot of benefit, but the max benefit of it all, like, is in the first few months. Like, it's not like you were really trying hard to be hit a year. You were trying your best. And I think it's almost like saying, I want to lose 150 pounds, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And then being mad because 2 weeks later, you're not anywhere close to 150
you only
pounds,
lost 40.
you know? I think it's looking at it a little more real, being like, I'm going to do this until it starts to give me too much trouble than it's worth.
Yeah. I mean, and there's another person to think of too. Like, I think I was stressing myself out the first time around about it so much because I knew you could take care of yourself. Like, I didn't have,
sure?
Not always, but I had faith in you.
Appreciate that.
But like, I had put all this pressure on me to take care of her and this thing that I was supposed to do for her. Well, this time around, like, yeah, you could step up and take care of her primarily if we needed you to, if like I were hurt or something. But we're parenting together. Like, we both are going to have 2 kids to take care of at this point. So it's not just one baby to worry about feeding. Like, I have another child.
You can't tap out.
Yeah.
There's no tapping out this time.
Yeah, it's not possible.
Kind of goes back to that.
Not even like in the man-on-man defense, like kind of scenario that I think you were getting at there. It's more like, no, like, even if you take on both kids, like, we both still have 2 kids to worry about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, so it's going to be different. I'm not going to put so much pressure. Like, a fed baby is best for sure, is the way I feel.
Well, and what's crazy is like, you essentially just kind of touched on the exact point we started this conversation with, which was the simplicity of having the second kid is informed by the first one, which where your line, you know better where your line is on when you're like, okay, well, this is just too much effort, and we're just going to switch to formula now, you know, or a mixture now.
I mean, going back to work is really what kind of started my descent into no longer pumping and doing breast milk. But we had already gone to hybrid like long before that. It was just too hard to pump and do all the things you have to do while at work.
Even with the pump room, even with all that
the
stuff.
Pump room,
like,
yeah, because I mean, you can't clean as you go like you can at home with all your other stuff. Like, even if you get extra parts, like, then the dishes start piling up, like all your pump parts, dishes, and somebody's got to find time to wash all that stuff so you can do it all again the next day. Like,
wash it, sanitize it, like, keep it moving. Like, it's like a mini
cosmos of extra work.
Yeah, I was gonna say a mini dishwasher.
Sorry.
Like, I mean, Cosmos is fine too, but like, it's like a mini dishwasher that has only certain stuff goes in it, and it has a certain way it has to be loaded, and it has a certain thing you got to do to make sure everything's good. And like, there are people who are just like, I know, just are just kind of like, just wash it and it's fine, and they're probably right. But it's that I think we're gonna have things this time around. We're gonna be like, all right, we've done this once. We know it's not unnecessary.
Yeah, where we got like more lax about things with her at 9 months, will probably be 6 with him. Like,
yeah,
like,
for sure. There will be stuff.
How old was she when we stopped like washing the passy every time she dropped it? Like 4 months.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I think it's just that we don't have to do a process of elimination this time. We know what works. Obviously, there's going to be curveballs. I'm sure there's going to be something he doesn't like different. that she liked, but
yeah,
every kid's different. But we know we've got a good blueprint
Yeah, we have a human blueprint. Maybe not a personality blueprint, but a human. Like this will keep this person alive, most likely.
Yeah, this should in all
comfortable and alive.
In all theory, it should keep this kid alive. We started gymnastics last week.
Oh my gosh, so fun!
Gymnastics is brand new for us this last week.
She's so proud. Like she's so excited and proud of herself that she, like I can tell when we talk to her about it, she feels like this is like a special thing that she's getting to do.
Yeah.
Like she's so excited.
It's got some impact, right? Like it's really cool. And she was excited. She wasn't like, I was expecting her to maybe be a little
resistant.
Not even resistant, but like shy about it.
Yeah.
But she got in there. Like she didn't take long.
No.
She was, I mean, I think when you guys went, so this is a parent participatory class. So like a parent's out on the mat with them. And I think we switched like halfway through or something like that.
Oh, she got comfortable. She wouldn't let go of my leg for the first 10 minutes. And then she got comfortable and kicked me off the mat and said, I want daddy.
Well, and she was just wanting to run to other parts of the gym. It was like, this is where your class is. Your class is here on the red mat.
That's why she wanted daddy. She wanted some freedom.
Yeah, well. But yeah, it's been really cool. We go once a week and it's about an hour.
Yeah.
Classes are about an hour and it's pretty neat. I mean, they really didn't do like anything too crazy. I think the teachers seemed like more so just assessing where everyone's at. Yeah. But again, it's a class of 2-year-olds, 2 and 3-year-olds. So you can't expect them to do
with their parents standing there, like they're looking to their parents for all direction, not the teacher. So the teacher's just like, this is guided.
Yeah.
This is just like barely guided. Yeah. You guys do this.
The teacher's basically saying, all right, have them do this and you do that with them. Yeah. Like do a little back tumble.
It's weird because like the next class in a few months that she would technically move into is no parent participation. So I'm like, oh, we should have gotten here a little sooner.
Is that all those other kids? Like,
yeah.
Were they on the parallel bars?
No, not in the next class. I think she's got
or the uneven bars. I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's both of them, but
they were doing the balance beam stuff, right?
Yeah. So she won't get to the uneven bars until she's a good bit older. I would think like 7 or 8, maybe more.
The way my mom talks, the place where they go, where her cousin,
the ninja
class. She's like, it's a gym too. So she says she sees a bunch of gymnastic kids that are. She's like, they're not very much. They're as tall as your kid.
Yeah.
You know, and just flipping around and doing stuff. They're really young. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll see if she even sticks with it. She might not stick with it. She might want to do something else.
Yeah, I mean,
some soccer or something. You know,
whatever makes her feel special, gets her out there, gets her socialized.
She don't have a problem socializing.
No.
Right now, thankfully, she's like, she'll be like, what's their name when we're at the playground? I'm like, I don't know. Why don't you go ask them?
That's what I tell her too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Right, if she was ever going to be an introvert, she got the wrong parents. We're just like, go tell them.
Go ask
tell
them,
them.
kid.
Whole story. Go ahead. Open book. She's definitely not a great trait to teach tiny little children. Just go walk up to that stranger and ask them. Yeah. That is what we've been teaching her. I just realized. Like, go talk to all the strangers and tell them all about yourself. Oh no.
They'll be kids. It's just kids. It would be different if we were like, go talk to that man.
No. Yeah. Oh God, we've got so much. I freak out if I start, like, you know, when you look up at the stars and you start feeling too tiny for the universe kind of thing.
Yeah, that's usually 7:45 a.m. every day.
I start feeling that exact same way when I start trying to think about all the things I've probably done wrong already as a parent.
All the bad things you've already written to the hard drive.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, all these things that I'm just like, I'm going with my gut, like my parenting gut. When people tell me like, it's okay, you'll figure it out. Like it all comes pretty naturally. And I feel like every time we've had a problem and we really try to work it out on our own, we then like go seek some professional help and try to do some research on it and get told you're doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
So,
I just think that stuff's going to be there. I don't think there's any way around it.
Yeah.
And I think there's always going to be those moments where you doubt, did I handle that right? And there's going to be times where, like the other morning, we did not handle the other morning right, and we were just like both talking to each other, chatting with each other, like, I feel terrible. Like had both gotten ourselves. It was a Monday morning, so we're coming off the weekend. We had both gotten ourselves in a situation where we didn't have a lot of time left in the morning to get things to where they needed to be so we could depart, right? And so that leads to us being impatient with what she's doing, and she's just chilling, watching a TV show that we said, sure, you can watch that while we do this. And then I'm just like grabbing the remote. I'm like, click. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, go. And she's like standing there with like a cinnamon bun, like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, we have to get going. Let's go.
She had no warning, poor thing. Yeah, we did. We did terribly that morning.
And then I was like, realized that I hadn't done some stuff of my own. I was like, I just shut all of her stuff off, and now she's got to sit here and watch me pull my lunch together or something like that. I was like, oh God.
Yeah, it was a rough
Monday.
one.
This Monday wasn't winning, but I mean, you try to make up and I even told you, I was like, she's not even thinking about this anymore. She's at school with her friends.
Bother us next week still.
But I am thinking about it now. Like I'm thinking about it now, and it's been days.
Yeah.
I hold on to that stuff, and then I think that's what what led to our over empathetic talk.
Probably, yeah.
So.
No, I think we were mad at teachers.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's what it was. That was what it was. But I don't know.
We'll get there. We'll get there one day. Maybe they won't put us in a home. What?
I think you're being hopeful. We're going to the home. Going to the home.
Maybe we can get a beachfront one. I don't know, man. I feel like this has not been like a well-rounded episode. My brain is meandering to the worst, like, non-stopping points ever, and I just feel so scattered. So apologies to anybody.
Don't apologize. It's just our experience, man.
Dude, I feel like I've had to apologize for just lack of brain power so much lately. I feel like that brain fog is way worse this time around. He's kicking the hell out of me too right now. What time is it? Oh yeah, this is when he gets active.
It's prime kicking time.
Yeah, prime kicking time right now.
All right. Well, I guess we'll leave it right there then.
Okay.
If that's all right with you. We didn't quite do an hour. I think we managed to go without saying a name.
Oh Lord.
Or cursing.
No, I definitely cursed. Plenty.
I'm starting to let that go.
I know.
I think that especially once number 2 arrives, this is going to be a different podcast.
You think so?
It's going in a different direction. We're going to go dark.
Oh Lord.
We're going to do Parentally Unprepared After Dark. Turn all the lights down except for a candle and just stare at each other.
Do I get a martini every episode, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put a candle right in between us and just stare at each other over the flame, the open flame. No other lights.
Oh, good.
Talking
times.
like we've been in the war.
How many gray hairs did you get this year?
I got plenty. I was noticing pictures from a year or two ago, and I was like,
dude, when I gave birth to our first, and then I'll stop after this. I had not dyed my hair because of the pandemic in 12 months or something, and I had this huge gray streak in the hospital room while we were taking pictures with her and things. Now that gray streak is through my whole head.
oh yeah,
And just
it happens fast.
in just 2 years, it took over my whole head. And don't worry, my hair's almost jet black still because I ain't letting it go yet. But every time them roots grow out, I'm just like, it's like I have a 4-inch part in the top of my head because it's all just white silver hair.
I've always said I would never dye my hair, but I would be interested to see what it would look like. Like, I don't know if
Your hair grows so fast, do it one time and see.
Just do it and be like, look how young I look. Like, nope, you just look like an old guy with soy sauce colored hair.
I would never let you do a soy sauce dye. I would do expert level home hair color for you.
Touch of gray.
No.
The one with the comb where you brush it in.
No. I'm an artiste, sir.
Just for men.
I would literally go get a real paintbrush and start painting that into your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spray paint.
No. Paint
Tag
hair
my head.
color. Paint hair color into your
I know
hair.
what you're saying. I'm just joking.
No. I biologed that shit.
I was joshing. All right. If you want to get in touch with us, parentallyunprepared@gmail.com. And we're also on Twitter, if anyone still uses that, @punpreparedpod. Yeah, that's it. I appreciate you guys being here, and be nice to yourselves.
Fun talking to everybody.
It was fun.
I'll try to bring. I'm going to try to bring some notes next time too, so I'm not just so damn out there. Okay. I feel bad that almost like I phoned it in, but I thought I could talk and on some of those points that we had talked about, and I feel like I did terribly.
Well, we did almost an hour. We did fine.
Yeah.
I think it's just. I think this is an important part of the pregnancy. It's just knowing that you're gonna be zapped sometimes. You're gonna have pregnancy brain. It's just what it is.
I'm gonna be really zapped next week.
All right, let's get zapped.
Yep.
We'll talk about it next week.
Fun
See you guys.
times. Bye.
Bye.